kita kerana sudi menerima jemputan daripada pihak kami di Inspem. Beliau yang saya maksudkan adalah Encik Hafiz Nazrin. Saya mengenali beliau melalui sosial media dan cuba menghubungi dan beliau sudi menerima jemputan daripada pihak kami. Dan saya tak ada latar belakang yang detail mengenai beliau, dan sedikit latar belakang lah yang saya dapat daripada internet, iaitu beliau merupakan pernah bertugas di Tashengo dan kemudian bertugas di media Premier Digital, dan sekarang ini bertugas sebagai General Manager Network Analytics di Telekom Malaysia. Mempunyai pengalaman dan kepakaran dalam data science, pernah membangunkan portal maklumat data dan statistik terkini tentang COVID-19. Dan hari ini kita betul kerana dapat bersama-sama beliau. Tanpa melengah masa, saya serahkan pentas ini kepada Hafiz untuk pembentahan beliau. Dengan selamatnya dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Encik Rohaizat kerana sudi menjemput saya. Maybe I can speak in English lah, since that we have a few of our friends here is from international, right? So thank you so much to the organizer for inviting me. Give me a moment, I'll share my screen to share my presentation for today. Everyone can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So basically, just a bit of introduction, a brief introduction about myself. My name is Hafiz. I'm right now working with Telekom Malaysia as the General Manager for the Network Analytics team. And formerly, I work with, I have experience, a lot of years of experience in data analytics and also data engineering, as well as data science, and working with a company such as PwC Malaysia, Tashengo, and Media Prima. And most of my experience is basically revolving around delivering data analytics initiative, right? And building the team that can help the business to leverage their data to, to drive their revenue or improve their efficiencies. And I have delivered a lot of data science project or data analytics project within these companies. And I'm also I think Mr. Rohaiza have mentioned just now, I've leading the data, the Corona Tracker project. It's a volunteering project during the COVID time. I think we started earlier than that, even before it was called a Wuhan virus. If you guys can still remember, it's around early 2020. With a couple of my friends, a couple of my data professional friends from around the world, and it has garnered a view around 40 million around the world. And we have also, our paper also have been accepted by WHO as part of the COVID prevention analysis, right? And my background is in electronics and computer engineering from UK, and I've also now a student like some of you here, and I'm doing my PhD now with one of the local university in machine learning, and I'm also the co-founder of Data Science Malaysia, where it is the platform or community platform for data scientists and data engineers, or even data professionals in Malaysia. So over there we shared our views, we shared a lot of things. We share articles, right, about data and about new technology. And now people are talking about ChatGPT, the large language models, LLM, OpenAI, right? And over there we also publish and advertise some of the vacancies as well. Some of the companies that are looking for data professional, they will advertise as well their positions there. So I founded that in 2019, and I welcome everyone here to join the platform, right? So without further ado, I think I can start with my sharing. And I'm sorry I have to do the hard stop at 4 p.m. because I have another meeting, right? I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. So today my topic I'm going to present is the data science on the applications and challenges that we face in the industry. I'm going to share roughly about the overview of data science, what this is all about data professionals, some of the branches of data professionals, and how to get there, right? And also I will share some of the use cases that I've done with some of the company that I've been, and then and to show to you here what are the jobs or tasks that we have been at tasked as a data scientist or data analyst. And yeah, as an overview, I think most of you by now have known that data science it, it has three main components, right? One of it is computer science, where you need a programming skill set. Programming skill sets such as Python, R, statistical programming, and some of the tools, some of the data tools like Talent, um, and some others requires some of your programming skill, right? And you need to also know about math and statistics, where you will be dealing a lot with problems that require you to build a model around mathematical model, right? For example, if you want to do a forecasting or predictive analytics, you will need to know about how to build a regression model, for example. Or if you want to group or to try to know how certain people behave or certain customer behavior, then you need to know about modeling like clustering, KNN model, SGBoost model, and those models require the maths and statistic fundamentals lah, right? And also you need to know about the business, right? For example, if you are in telecommunication, then you need to know about how they are doing business here, what are their day-to-day tasks, right? And from there you will know their problem statement, you will know about their their gaps, right? And you know what are the initiative or what sort of like use cases that you wanted to build with the company. And right on top of these three main component is the data science, the fundamental of data science lah, right? And as you know, in data, we use data for example to see what happened around us, right? Companies using data to know about their customer behavior, about their sales performance, right? And if you can be able to use the data and build a model, you can build a predictive analytics, meaning that you will know what happened in the next 6 months or 12 months or 18 months using some of the mathematical model. And also now, right, with the enhancement and the investment of technology like AI, machine learning, right, you know what to prescribe to the users or to the customer. For example, building a recommendation model, right? You will be able to recommend to the customer and the users what sort of like um, other items that they would like to purchase or other articles that they wanted to see. Nowadays, if you're browsing your Netflix, or if you go to e-commerce platform, Shopee and whatnot, they will always, right? They have some feature that will prescribe you what to see next, like what are the movies that you watch next based on your behavior within that platform, right? For example, if you always watch movies that in genre of ghost, right? Sorry, in genre of comedy, romantic comedy, then they will introduce you to the next, movies that is almost similar to that rom-com lah. That is the easiest example right, for prescriptive analytics, right? So as a data professional, data analyst, data engineers, or data scientists, what we do daily is we make sense of the data that we have in the company, right? For example, in a company we have a lot of data. For example, the example of the data that I can give is our purchasing data, our financial data, our operations data. We have a lot of data. Like in telco industry, we have customer data. What are the, for example, in TM, we have data about customer internet behavior, right? Um, around the country lah, right? We know when the customer is browsing the internet, what are the peak time of the customer that browsing the internet, right? What are the downtime of the customer when they are using internet, right? We know their behavior. We know um, normally which browser they go, what sort of activities they do in on the internet. For example, what sort of application that they go and whatnot, right? And this information or this data we use to analyze, right? What are their common behavior, right? What are their, and we can merge and use it, for example, to do upselling or cross selling of our product. And many company or industry, they have been collecting your data based on your behavior and use it to prescribe you with, for example, another data. Like if you like Facebook ads, um, or any ads that targeting you, basically in behind the scene they have a model that they built to know your behavior. Are you belong to this group, right? Are you belong to this certain age of group? And then they will use it to target you with certain brands, for example, right? So all those data is being collected by company, by this company, right? By most of the company, and they are teams that make sense of the data that have been collected. And those people that doing the job or doing the task is called data scientists, data analysts, and data engineers. And even now we have the terms called ML, machine learning engineers. We have the term like prompt engineers, right? We have the term of AI engineers. They are more advanced, right? They are the ones that building the deep learning model to understand the complex things about human and about interaction, about social topology and whatnot. So um, they use that knowledge or that mathematical model that they build to help the company, right, to solve most of the uh, complex use cases like autonomous vehicle and whatnot. So that what we do on our daily basis. We make sense of the data that we have in the company lah, right? And people asking me, like most of the students that I met previously, or even a professional that would like to go into this industry, they often ask me, what are the skills needed to be a data scientist or even data professionals, right? So the basic skills that you need to do is based on the three components that I mentioned earlier. Is your programming language, right? You need to know programming language lah, right? Whether it's R, whether it's Python. Nowadays, Python is a very popular languages and it's easier to learn, easier to pick up, right? There's a lot of courses, online courses that are available in the internet. And even if you browse through YouTube, there's a lot of like tutorials that you can start off and start to pick up with this programming language, right? And you need to know about how to perform data wrangling, right? Data wrangling means you need to structure your data, you need to clean up your data, and those skill set. For example, SQL skill set. It's really important for you to be able to clean up your data, to merge your data, to structure your data and whatnot, right? And also you need to know about statistics, like I've mentioned, statistics and mathematics. You need to really have a fundamental where you will use all those mathematical model to build your model, right? Like for example, linear regression, Bayesian method and whatnot. So all those we call as basic modeling. You need to familiarize with, need to know in detail how it behaves, what are the outputs, how to test it, and whatnot lah, for you to be able to do your job as a data scientist. And also you need to be able to present your work to the stakeholders. As a data scientist, you often work with a lot of stakeholders. It could be a marketing people, it could be your boss in your department, right, that handles operations, right? It could be someone in finance, right? You need to be able to present your analysis, right, in a structured and in a digestible manners. So you need a knowledge in data visualization, where you need to learn about the business intelligence tools like like we have now Power BI, we have Tableau that you can use to visualize your analysis, right? So this kind of tools is very important for you to know, and for you to be able to use that, so that you can present your work to the stakeholders, right? And all other skill set that mentioned here, like machine learning, deep learning, are something that if you are a bit advanced in this field, that you can start to learn and start to pick up. All right, so these are the some of the branches of data professionals that is now popular in the industry lah, right? You have a data architect that work on the back end, where they will be tasked to architect the whole solution of a data management in a company, right? And you have a data engineer. Data engineer is very important because they are the ones that build the data pipelines from end to end, right? From how you collect the data and build the pipeline to clean up those data, make sure that your features engineering or feature selection is right, make sure that your data have no bias, normalize those data again and whatnot. So data engineers is very important, so that the data that have been produced by them can be used by data analysts or data scientists to perform their analytics. And for data analysts, it's pretty straightforward. They are not data scientists. They merely analyze the data that comes in, basically building the descriptive analysis, meaning that they know what happened with the problems or with the data that they have. They build, for example, a simple dashboard, for example, to present to the stakeholders about what's going on within the company, right? What's going on with the users or the customer? Are we profitable this month, or are we on the downward trends in the next 6 months or in the past 6 months? So data analysis is someone that works to describe what's happening based on the data that they have. Data scientists are a bit advanced from data analysts because they be able to build a more advanced features around the data, right? For example, if you want to build an advanced analytics that be able to forecast or to recommend some purchase, right? That is the job of a data scientist, right? And also mentioned here, I think I don't need to again to describe what are the skills and talent that requires for each of the data professionals that I mentioned here, right? For example, now if you like mentioned here, like hired by Spotify, right, Facebook, Amazon, in your current apps, right, behind the scene of, for example, Spotify, of let's say you listen a song and then suddenly you heard another song that is, wow, I suddenly said, wow, this is a good song, but you never know that song. Those are being recommended by the data professional actually behind the scene. The model is built by the data scientists behind the scene or data engineers behind the scene. So it happening around you guys, right? On a day-to-day basis, data has been used, right? And data has been essential and very important for a company, to make sure that the customer experience is good, the company is making revenue, and the work will be optimized lah within the company. Okay, I'm going to share. Next, I'm going to share about the application, some of my work in the industry. These are based on my own work or my team's work, right? Based on the industry that I work with, right? So, for example, as a data scientist or data analyst, my team have been tasked to build a study. We wanted to know during the previous MCO, right? We wanted to know what are the landscape of the people that receiving assistance, financial assistance during the MCO time, right? We wanted to know this built by my data analyst, by my data analyst team, where if you look here, we break down the customers or the product, the customers behavior based on the breakdown by products. We look at their demographic, right? For example, the age groups, and you can see that most of the time here, right? You can see that most of our people that took that financial, right, is around 36 or 35 years old. So with this information, right, we know that how we wanted to perform the marketing, right? What are our sales plan? What our go-to market plan, right? We know already that our customer is mostly around 36 to 45. It's a young adult, right? So we need to package our product that meet this that could be attractive enough for this age group, right? And we also need to understand that what are the income brackets, right, of the customers, of our customers that we have. And this is what we call descriptive analytics, where we use data to understand what's going on around us within our day-to-day basis, right? And this is a bit advanced. We built the predictive modeling, where we try to understand and try to classify our customer based on the risk level that they have to our businesses. For example, right, we have like for example, if we have 5 million customers, we can be able to group them based on the risk that they have, right? Based on the behavior. For example, if we can see that they are NI, or they not be able to pay the loans, right? Then we group that into the high risk or medium risk based on their payment behavior and whatnot. So we use some of the mathematical model to predict or to group the customer that we have into this sort of like group lah, so that we understand. Basically, if you look here at high risk, we can be able to know who they are. Like for example, 2,000 accounts, right? We know in detail who they are, where they're staying, what are their jobs, and it can go down to the details lah, right? And with this information, we can be able to set up the plan to ensure that the company exposure is within the control, for example, right? These are some of the use cases that I build for banks lah, mostly, right? For financial institution. And based on the financial institution industry also, I built a machine learning to understand the fraudulent behavior or anomaly in behavior within the customers, right? This I built for Bank Negara, where we try to understand, is there any fraudulent activities going on based on the transaction level, right? I've used the machine learning to do a predictive analysis, where we try to see whether if there is any anomaly happening around the transaction that we get from the data, right? And if we be able to measure or predict based on their behavior, some of the customers that behave in anomaly mode, then we be able to pin down who they are, and use their profile to know lah, right? Or to enforce, to do some enforcement to them, right? So these are also one of the use cases where I use a bit advanced methodology, machine learning, to understand and train my data to be able to know the anomaly behaviors lah, right? And also apart from that, I'm also using knowledge graph, right? These are also one of the use cases where we try to find the anomalies in the relationship of the transaction, meaning that in 1,000 of transactions in a bank, right, we've been able to map their relationships. Where do they go? Which ATMs do they, for example, they withdraw the money or they deposited the money? From there, what are they purchasing? What are they purchased, right? What are the purchasing that they've been made? Which supermarket that they go, right? So all this data we've been collected and we analyze each one of them and try to understand the relationship of a scammer, for example, or a fraudulent people, right? And one of the money laundering, we be able to capture, I think 2 or 3 cases based on the model that we built, that actually the suspect use the money to launder, to do laundering lah, right? For example, they use like the exchange, the money exchange to launder some of the money that they have lah. So we've been able to capture some of the scammers, some of the money launderers using this the model that, or using the network analytics that my team built for the banks lah. And also this is also one of the one of the use cases that I built for one of the company before, right? We use data to understand the usage, the tools usage trends during COVID and before COVID lah. This is just to understand how it's transformed from pre-COVID to post-COVID, and we can see that there's a lot of movement. Last time is very structured, where you can see a lot of peak time in the morning and in the evening, 6 to 8 p.m. But after COVID, we don't see that trends anymore. Roughly it become more, like people are behaving like they have a flexible working hours, right? So the transaction of the users have been dispersed evenly around the time, around the slot lah. We call it slot. So with that information, we know, right? We use that to do some of the marketing, and put in our people, right? Use it for the resource management, to put our people for support in the tools, right? Or in the highways, right? So that we know, okay, basically peak time, you need to put more manpower or support around that area, so that you'll be able to help the customers that use that. So data is very important for a company to understand their customers, and how they can provide services or support to the customer lah, right? And also in my time in Media Prima also, I built the recommendation engine for new site, for example Harian Metro or Bulan, Says, New Straits Times, Berita Harian. If last time if you saw the what next to read, or what article to read next, that is basically my work lah, right? So I built the model recommendation engine based on the customer behavior, and it helps company to save about 1 million, right? And we understand how the customer behave, what are their likes and what are their dislikes. We be able to capture the behavior of users based on their age, based on their demographic. For example, we be able to know, okay, young parents age 30 to 35, what are their current reading behavior, right? Are they viewing sports more? If they view sports more, what is our actions? Then we can use those information to target them with advertisement. For example, if a husband, right, age 30 to 35, if they have been watching or have been reading articles about Manchester United, for example, or some other sports club, right, we be able to target, use that information and do sort of like uh, marketing plan to them, and we target them with the Nike brands, for example. So we use that information to help company to generate some revenue lah, right? And it helps the customer to stay on the page longer than they used to be. Without the recommendation engine that we built, they often, like, okay, when they read an article, then they go out, they read other articles or they read other news site. But with the recommendation engine that my team built, they be able to stay on this page. So if they able to stay on the page longer, meaning that more revenue comes to us, right? Because we can do a lot of things with them. We can target more ads, for example. Right? So those is a recipe lah. If I can share how we make money, how the this company making money lah, right? Okay, this sorry, the last one is the Corona Tracker platform that I've built with the team, right? So these are basically the statistic about COVID last time. It was still called Corona last time. So we built this using I think JavaScript, yeah, behind, and we collect and scrape the data, the news from the internet. Been working with KKM as well to provide the information to the famous platform that we have last time. So yeah, so this is more merely like a volunteering work that I've did for our country lah, right? So yeah, so that are the samples of use cases that I've had experience, or I have had the pleasure of delivering to the company lah. So I hope I can share with you guys that these are the work that we did on a daily basis as a data people, and those are and the impact that we bring to the company lah, right? Okay, next I will try to talk about the challenges and also the career path to become a data professional like myself. And okay, how to be a data scientist is basically you need to understand what sort of like passion that you have, right? Doesn't mean that doesn't mean if you work, or if you are now a mathematics student or statistics student, you will need, or you will go to this direction, right? So it's up to you basically. But if you have the passion to become data scientist, then these are the skill sets that you need to know, right? The data visualization, machine learning, coding, mathematics, and statistics, right? And as a career path for a data scientist, merely if you are fresh grad, then you will start off as a junior data scientist or junior data analyst, and then once those average salary is basically, I think, average salary that they have annually lah, right? And you can work your way up if either you want to be a data scientist or you want to be a AI engineer, right? And the mid-level is called a senior data scientist, and after you become a senior, then sometimes you will go to become a data science manager or a principal data scientist or principal AI engineer, where you become more specialized. And if you become a manager, you will have around teams around you, teams of data scientists that you will task to lead lah, right? And if you are in advanced level, you will go then become a director or head of data scientist. But this salary is not real. It's not real. It's not even my salary. It's just samples lah. I earn less than that basically. And when you become a data director or head of data scientist, your task is to build a strategy, a data strategy for a company, right? Where you will need to look into a problem statement of company, use the data, how to help and generate more revenue to the company using data, right? You will have a teams around you, a lot of them, and you will maybe perhaps they are data engineers, they are data scientists or data analysts lah. So you help, you will task to build an initiative or develop initiative to help a company to achieve their goals lah using data, right? And I would like to change that. People say that okay, data scientists have sexy jobs, they have a lot of like prospect and whatnot, but in reality it's very challenging on a day-to-day basis working as a data scientist, right? For example, we working with the data that is sometimes is tend to be very messy. You will need to understand the systems and how they collect the data. You need to understand the detail of the data that you work with, right? Sometimes in a company that I work, they don't have a data, even a data dictionary for the data that they have. So you need to work, you need to do a lot of assumptions sometimes, right? You need to do a lot of study how the why the data is become like that, and a lot of effort needed to clean up those data, find the relationship, find the meaning behind the data, why it behave like this and whatnot. And by becoming data scientist, oftentimes you will need to challenge the current scenarios that are happening within that company or organization, right? Meaning that sometimes you find very odds odds analysis or odds insight, but you need to use that insight to challenge the current the current scenarios within that company lah, right? You need to be able to challenge the marketing team, for example, right? Saying that you were saying that we are making money, but in reality the data shows that we are losing money, right? So to have that drive and attitude, it will be helpful for you as a data scientist, right? And also you need to know the new technology outside. And sometimes in the company or industry that you are in, you will need to deal with the legacy systems or legacy data that they have. So sometimes the old legacy or technology, right? They are slow. They tend to be not accurate, right? So you need to know how to solve these gaps that you see, right? And people say that 90% of the data scientist time is to fix this challenge, to fix the data, to clean up those data, right? So it is, right? As a data scientist myself, I can attest to that. And it's very challenging, but it's really worthy and it's really, for me, it's really an enjoyable ride so far lah, right? Okay, I think that's all. It's very short. I open the floor to any of you to ask any question.
Okay. Terima kasih pada Cik Hafiz. Kita buka sekiranya ada soalan ataupun pertanyaan. We open for Q&A. Mungkin soalan saya dulu lah. Untuk menjadi data scientist ni, adakah keperluan dalam universiti tu, pelajaran universiti tu dah mencukupi untuk keraduan yang
keluar ni lah. Saya ada involve in few of the university as well. Contohnya macam Unimap, ada few of other university lah yang I become the board of studies lah kan. So memang masih ada gap, especially kepada fundamentals of the student lah. For example, pemahaman mereka mengenai or their understanding about some problems and how they wanted to apply the knowledge that they have and what they learn in the university into the industry. And very obvious problem that I saw is not about the syllabus itself. I saw a lot of industry, they have a very good syllabus in data. It's very up to date, up to par with the industry, what industry want. But then they must remember that students also must be equipped with the soft skill side. For example, project management skill set, presentation skills, right? Because if you are working as a data scientist, you need to present your work to the stakeholders. Kalau let's say if you also not sure what you want to present, then it's going to be a problem lah. Okay? So I think that's the gap yang I saw. Tapi so far a lot of university have a good syllabus and sort of like 70-80% can help the students untuk keluar and become the data analyst ke, data engineer ke, and whatnot lah.
Okay, kita buka lagi sekiranya ada soalan.
Kalau malu boleh type lah. So siapa yang, if anyone shy, you can use the chat to type. I can try to answer lah.
Assalamualaikum tuan.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Saya Zahari daripada UPM. Cuma macam mana, kat mana kita nak start kalau untuk beginner level lah?
Oh, untuk beginner level, okay. Untuk beginner level, banyak platform yang tuan boleh gunakan untuk start. Contohnya sekarang ni ada a lot of training course dalam online. Macam Coursera, Udemy, itu semua boleh jadikan platform untuk kickstart. Banyak course data analyst untuk beginner lah. Kalau tuan perlukan some sort of financial aid, ada few of agency yang boleh help tuan. Contoh Yayasan Peneraju. Dalam Yayasan Peneraju atau MDEC, dia orang ada sediakan financial aid lah. Ataupun dia sendiri ada sediakan course untuk tuan kickstart dalam data punya industri lah.
Okey, katakan kalau dalam research pula, contoh untuk beginner researcher buat penyelidikan dalam bidang data science. So macam mana dia nak tahu bahawasanya penyelidikan dia berkaitan dengan data science tu betul, dia prediction ke apa ke berkaitan macam yang tuan buat.
Okay, banyak juga platform yang for example lah kan, kalau kita researcher, saya pun buat research sekarang mengenai untuk PhD saya. Most of the time kita tak tahu betul ke tak model yang kita build kan.
Betul.
And kita tak tahu macam mana nak get the reference. Most of the time saya selalu guna Kaggle untuk browse through apa model yang saya boleh build kan, apa problem yang saya nak buat, apa problem yang saya nak solvekan lah. And most of the time juga saya cari community data tu. Maksudnya saya cari peers lah kan. Macam saya cakap, data science Malaysia tu sangat helpful because dalam tu ada macam-macam expert untuk kita rujuk lah kan. Kita boleh rujuk dengan dia, katakan kita ada this problem yang kita nak solve, apa yang patut saya buat, betul tak metodologi saya ni, kita boleh refer to the mentor lah. Saya banyak gunakan sumber-sumber daripada sana lah, daripada data science platform tu. So itulah cara sebagai beginner lah. Saya sendiri pun use that method lah untuk solve saya punya isu.
Okay. Sebab sebenarnya saya pun baru berjinak-jinak dengan data science ni. Jadi nak dah habis, bukanlah dah habis belajar. Kira basic tu orang kata
Basic,
dah baru habis kelas basic dah habis. So sekarang ni kita nak start nak pergi kepada real data, and then bila nak pergi kepada real data ni betul ke apa yang aku buat ni, macam tu lah.
Dia mesti ada common punya problem yang tuan nak solve. So common punya problem ni tuan boleh refer dekat ada satu platform called Kaggle. Dalam tu Kaggle tu ada banyak orang build the model lah. Katakan model untuk prediction, dah ramai dah orang buat. Even expert pun memang dia orang selalu bagi ideas, bagi share dia orang punya findings kan. Share macam mana dia orang build the model and what not lah. So saya rasa tuan boleh refer to that platform untuk tuan tengok lah apa problem yang tuan nak buat, adakah sama. Most of the time memang akan ada jumpa yang sama. So saya pun macam selalu guna inspired by that lah. Macam kalau saya nak build apa-apa model, saya akan tengok dulu apa yang dia nak build. Okay, ni macam sama ni. Okay, saya boleh try. Sebab kalau kita buat research, kita akan guna bukan satu model kan, 2-3 model kan. Untuk testing kita punya hipotesis kan. So that kind of things lah yang saya buat sekarang ni.
Okay, menarik. Okay, terima kasih tuan.
Sama.
Okay, saya rasa mungkin
saya saya terpaksa keluar sebab saya ada meeting pukul 4 biasalah.
Okay, terima kasih banyak pada tuan kerana sudi untuk berkongsi bersama-sama kami. InsyaAllah jika ada kelepangan kita akan jemput lagi insyaAllah.
InsyaAllah kalau ada kelepangan boleh jemput lagi. Kalau saya free saya akan join lah.
Okay, baik. Terima
kasih semua. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum. Thank you.
Baik.